Hello. Today folks, I thought I would try and do a video showing you what I'm doing at the moment and how I'm going about making up the seals for the wool sleeve. Basically the seal replacement, this is the outer seal. So today I went ahead and I quickly roughed up this little horse here. Now, I've heard them called many things, panel beaters, workhorse, or I don't know, you can call it whatever the hell you want. Basically it's two bits of pipe, one piece of solid bar, and it's just so you can bend and form curves and all sorts of things that you could do with a roller, you could do it with a pull max, you could do it with lots of nice tools, but you don't have to have lots of fancy tools. You can do it certainly to this size. This is probably about the limit. This is 1200 wide. Doing something longer would be very difficult because the middle flexes so much. When you start putting things in there and bending it, no matter how good a piece of steel you have here, it will flex in the center. Not so much with the bigger pieces of tube, but when you get to the smaller radius. So what we're doing is making up the seal. I've made up one, and I want to run through how I did it and how I'm going to go about this second one. I'll come and grab the camera and I'll show you the first one. It's just sitting on the car at the moment. So if we come back over to the car, you can see here I've got it clamped up in there, and basically it's a little bit loose there at the moment. What's happened is I made it all straight, and the car has a slight radius this way. So when I've clamped it back on there, make it out, we can see this gather that wants to happen here, this little bow that's popped up. I've got too much material here. So all the way along this edge, I'm just going to run the little kick shrinker along it, nibble it down, and that'll pull a nice little radius into the section, and that will give us the radius we need. I'll drop the clamps off quickly so we can have a look at the piece that I'm going to make. So this is it in profile. Get off there. Yeah, so that is essentially what we're going to be making over here now. So what I've done here is cut a strip. This is 0.95 mild steel, and this is basically what we use for sheet panel. You can go up to 1.2 mil. It's heavier and harder to work, and it doesn't match up with a lot of the panel stuff. I've found this sort of to be the best, and certainly is easier to shape. So what I'm going to do now, I've established already that my first mark for my first bend, I'm going to go for this. Actually, we can look at this. It's a good idea with if you've got a little piece of scrap laying around, a little thin piece of scrap, is you can easily wrap it around whatever to get a profile gauge. So I get it on the concrete. This is my profile here, down and around. So I've established that I'm going to bend this curvature here first. I'm going to leave 2 inches before I start doing that. So I'm going to mark that 2-inch line across my sheet here. Then I'm going to slide it in to the horse and start bending it. So I'll put you back on the rack over here. I better come around and do it properly. In. Okay, so we've got our sheet. I know that my ruler is 50 mils wide, so I can basically just shimmy that up to the edge. And give myself a scribe line to follow. Now, I'm going to start with this side. This is a 25mm round bar, or 1 inch. And I'm just going to come down on my line, which can be a little bit tricky to see. But if you lean it out towards yourself, you can get a little bit of pressure against it. And then you can get it where you need it to be. Of course, as soon as I turn the camera on, I struggle with it, don't I? Okay, that's us there. So it's going to bend much more easily on the ends than it is in the centre. So I'm going to start in the centre first. I'm just going to apply as much even pressure as I can. Work along a little bit towards the ends. This is all about being as even as I can. If I just jump up and down on it, I'll put bends in the one spot. I just want to, and here we go, we've got a kink that's wanted to start to happen there already. A low spot in the bar maybe. And work back along this way a little bit. I've definitely got a problem just here. You can see where it wants to kink. I don't know if you can see that from where you are, but the first one went nicely. This one is not wanting to play games with us. That's right. If I can manipulate that a little bit. It's still there a little bit. You're not going to be able to see this, but I'm going to go to the wheel. A couple of quick passes in the wheel has pulled that out. And now come back to my mark and start bringing it down again. You can see I really don't have to put any pressure on the ends at all. The ends will want to go down, whereas the middle won't. Here's just a matter of working it until you get to a point where you think you might be right. Yeah, so the only thing I can do hopefully, so I can do it. There we go, and that. Now, alright, just slid through, and we're back in the same position we were. Sometimes I find the steel can have a different amount of tension in it. Sorry, turning my back to you, but from one piece to another. So we're starting to get this end shape. It's not really liking coming out down in the middle at the moment. But when we bend that back the other way, last time I did this way. Tucking that back up to the flat again. Now we're going to work it back the other way. Which will give us that nice little reverse at the bottom. So this is all just feel. You end up pushing so hard in the middle, you sort of get to the ends and it's hard not to overdo it. But I think that should be somewhere near where we want to be. So you can see this end. I can come over here and I can grab my little template and I can look at that and go, yep, that's pretty much us. Then we just have to bend the top down and I'll neaten up back down this edge and pull this edge down once I bend a straight line along here. It'll give the whole thing a whole bunch of rigidity where I can then work this edge back around here and get this low spot out of the middle. It's bent more here, and there's a low spot through here where it's resisting me. So once I get it in there, and I can work that bit, although I might be able to do it like this. Let's see. You can see that curve, that's why it doesn't want to keep going. So if I get it into there like that, it's a very thin edge I'm pushing on. So, let's see how we go, like this. See the 1 inch bar flexing, or at least I can as I do it. Remember, it's just massage really. With a lot of these things, you don't want to be pounding away on it if you can help it. You just want to push it really to where you want it to be. So if you can make that out, it's some little wobbles in it, but it's much straighter than it was. Still just a little bit in here I'd like to get better. But as I said, it will change slightly when I put this crimp along the top. So, which is basically now it just gets a piece of angle iron. We'll go over and mark it. I'll see if I can carry you over to the car. Now there might be some more fiddling around here, and I don't know if I can do much of this one-handed, but so hopefully you can see that. Let me go around there so I can see what I'm looking at in the camera. Yeah, so that's us there, and that's pretty darn close. So from here I can mark this bend. Sorry, I had a clamp ready, shouldn't I? So from here I can mark the height of my bend, bearing in mind that it's all going to come up 1 millimetre when I notch it in, or rather when I cut this and fit it in. So yeah, I'll mark that, and this end as well when I get it in place. Put some clamps on it, mark it up, and then fold this edge in, and we will have another seal. So there we go. So yeah, really handy little tool to make up one of these. The other thing is I will eventually put something in here, so as I can drop dollies and dies and stuff on here and work on this end as well. All right, have a good day. Thanks folks, cheers.